Shalom, beautiful people. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful and excited to do this reading with you all. This is going to be just a general message. I do have a download. I'm not sure if it's going to come out within the reading. But I do want to go ahead and just kind of touch on a couple things that we can talk about. We're not going to get too in depth in them. One thing I would love for you all to look out for is I am actually going to do a reading allowing I don't know when this is going to happen, what space we'll be in when this happens, but we are going to do a reading where we are going to allow demon energy. Okay, how do we explain this? Because when I say that, I can already feel people being like, oh my God, where is she going with it? What happened to her? No. Calm down. Okay. I mentioned this previously. For a long time, I had an idea that there are 5 aspects of the self, okay? Now I am coming to the realization, obviously we are multidimensional beings, but when it comes to this dimension, the different aspects in which we most associate with is highly important. And there's not 5, there's 7. Because there's an aspect of self associated with each chakra system. There's not 7 chakras within our physical form. There's not 5, there's 7, okay? So one of the chakras is the root. Well, the root chakra is basically what it is that we're going to allow to come through and speak. The root chakra is associated with your inner beast, aka your inner demon energy. Now, when we talk about angels and the higher self, which is the crown chakra, if there's an angelic higher self being, what is directly associated with that being is the root chakra. Balances it out is the root chakra and the inner beast, aka inner demon. Okay, so we are going to give this some space to that energy in the future. I'm not 100% positive when we're going to have that space. There are a few things that I need to work through with a certain deck that I have just acquired. There's certain boundaries that have to be set in place before we allow that for the collective as well. And this is just something that I do on my end, just to make sure everything is in check. So I don't want anybody to, don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out, okay? But it is going to happen. So if that is something that is going to interest you, if you are interested in expanding your consciousness and tapping into your root chakra, your internal demon, along with your internal angel, we are going to hold that space, okay? We are going to hold that space. I'm going to say it now. Now, for the chakra that I'm still working on with my consciousness is the heart space, because the heart is the balance of all of these different chakra systems, right? I don't even know yet. I don't even know when it comes to the heart. Okay, so if I just heard do a rundown, so we're going to do a quick rundown, because many people associate the higher self and the shadow as being balanced, when in fact it's not. Like, it's not. The shadow is actually associated with the, I believe it's the solar plexus, your creativity. I hope I'm getting this right and I don't have your third chakra, basically. I'll just say your third chakra. Your third chakra is directly associated with the shadow, and that would be your creative energy. The third chakra is balanced by the 6th chakra, which is your fifth chakra, which is throat, which is masculine energy. Okay. Now your second chakra is directly balanced with your 6th chakra, which is the third eye, which is the seer. Okay, so your third eye and your 2nd chakra are balanced together. That would be the inner child and the divine feminine energy. Now, like I said, the crown chakra, the 7th chakra, would be the higher self, the angelic higher self. The root chakra, which would be your 1st chakra, is the inner demon, the inner beast. I said inner demon, so we're going to go with that, the inner demon aspect of self, okay? And those two balance each other out. Now, when it comes to the 5th chakra, I'm trying to figure out what the pole is, the pole that balances these aspects of self. That is what I'm still diving into, okay, personally. But there's that's out there, okay? I just heard put this away. I had pulled a card earlier, but I just heard put it away. So we're gonna put that away. Okay, now I want to talk about this reflective energy. There is, yet again, another reflective energy that's coming into the collective, and it's very much a okay, the way I initially got this is you're reflecting on things that happened in the past that you've already reflected on before. The first reflection was to build the faith. The second reflection is to honor the self. Now, how do I explain this? The Most High deserves credit, period. And that's where faith comes in. Your faith to move and your faith to see how protected you are from the Most High, the ancestors, spiritual teams, ascended masters, angels, right? Demons, right? There's a faith, there's a protection around you. And you have witnessed and been able to acknowledge that protection through reflective energy. Okay, now you're going into another reflective state, except the details are more detailed. It's almost like you're back in that particular moment. But this time, the details are deeper so that you can not just be giving your power away, but you can stand within your power. And the Most High is giving this to you because the Most High needs you to understand, understand, and overstand your power. And how, yes, in these moments you were protected, but also in these moments, your power is what also protected you. Giving away too much, how do I say that? I just heard too much praise. Giving too much praise to the things outside of you and not enough praise to the self is not a balanced act. Like, the Most High needs you to understand your power, wants you to understand your power, and wants you to praise self as well as the Most High, right? There's a balancing act that needs to be figured out at this stage in the game. And in order for us to do that, we have to address things like our inner demon. We have to address things like the shadow, which we've been working on. We've been working on the shadow, right? But now we're getting deeper in the shit. The shit goes really deep. And we need to allow that information to come in. We can't allow fear to block us from recognition of our power to be able to handle ourselves in certain situations. And who we are as a spirit, as a soul, as an individual consciousness. This is why on this channel, I always talk about it goes the Most High and then you. Because if we're going to start diving into some deeper, darker energies, some different types of frequencies in order to expand the awareness so that we can then ascend, right? Because demons want to be loved too. Like, right? Like, it's not, there's an ascension, just like how we say the shadow. The shadow wants you to address your fear, so that it can ascend with you. The shadow is fearful of being left behind. So what do you have to do in order to make sure that your shadow has a seat at the table, just like everybody else? The heart is the table. The heart is the table. That was for me. Okay. I have to write that down. Time out, collective. It's really funny because the dog that's barking right now, her name is Lucille, and her nickname is Lucifer. I just find it interesting that Lucifer is like in the background, like, I'm here. So I just wrote down the heart is the table where all aspects congregate. Okay. This is why love is not one. This is why love is not love. We talked about this. This is why love is not love. Love has different frequencies. Okay? The truth is the truth. Like, love is abstract. Like, some people can't even explain why they love something or someone, because it's an abstract concept. It can take and morph into many different forms and realities. It's a, what did you say? It's a mutable energy. It's a yeah, love is mutable. Truth is fixed. It's a fixed energy. Just like there's fixed signs, there's fixed energy. Okay, I don't know why we got back into that. Collective, I already prayed, but I'm going to go ahead and set intentions for this reading. Spirit, I set the intention that whoever is meant to receive this message receives it in the way in which you mean for them to receive it. Ashe. Spirit, I pray for the collective's peace. I pray for the collective's love, abundance. I pray for the collective's truth. I pray for the disillusion of society and the reality to come into the forefront. Ashe. Okay, we're gonna start with the Shaman's deck. Shaman's Oracle. Yo, if it's meant to be, it will be. This is the card that I had pulled out that I was told to put it back in the deck, and it just came back out. Okay? The cosmic womb. The creation within the darkness. It's so funny because within this, and then we have, so 3 is a very big number right now. If I would look up, I think I said this previously, what 3, yeah. I heard a Okay, water is really important right now. Also, okay, we're going to go back to that energy. So this energy of smoke and mirrors. There's an energy of smoke and mirrors. And for you to know what you know, the mushroom to me is knowing what you know. And having confidence in what you know, collective. Pay attention to what people are speaking to you and at you at this time. Smoke and mirrors, there's a warning here for the collective. There's information that's coming in that is bedded within illusion. Get to the root of that. Get to the root of that. I don't know why this is significant for me to repeat myself on, but the reality is we are more genetically in alignment with mushrooms than we are apes. Get to the root of why something, a smoke and mirror, is being presented to you at this time, collective. Does it go along with what you know within your deepest knower? Or is there a reason it's being presented to you at this time in the way in which it is? I'm doing this like a chokehold. Like it's like someone putting their hand around your throat, which is your creative energy. Your divine masculine energy. And it's funny, I just talked about how the shadow is divine feminine energy. Okay? What balances the shadow is the throat chakra, the divine masculine energy. This has to do with censorship. Like, okay, I need some water. I heard dehydration. Some of you might actually have been feeling dehydrated recently. I would pay attention for some reason. Pay attention to the type of water in which you are drinking. I heard plastics. Some of you might be drinking a lot of bottled water, and you have to be aware of the plastics, the plastic material that seeps into that water as you're ingesting it. It's ingesting into your, I don't know, for some reason that's making you more dehydrated. It's not actually like quenching your thirst. It's interesting because I keep on seeing like the plastic particles absorbing the water before your body gets an opportunity to. So it's not actually nourishing you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so that was very specific. I don't know why this is coming through, collective, but within the cosmic womb, I can see a snake in it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to. My camera loves to just focus on me. But for me, I can see a snake head right there, and then there's snakes along with seashells. Like there's a snail here, there's a seashell here. And I just keep hearing the snake devours the rat. And the rat devours the insect. There's a bunch of insects in this. Right, like there's a butterfly here. There's a dragonfly here. Okay. I'm getting like this has to do with... Okay. Pull up a chair. Collective, pull up a chair. Get something to drink. Here we are. I love you guys. This has to do with the survival of the fittest energy. Okay. The snake devours the rat devours the bug, and so the cycle goes, basically. So there's a need for... I just heard warrior energy. There's a need for the collective to really honor and respect nature first and foremost, and how nature is when you are not even present within it, right? Like if you went to Wyoming, if you know anything about Wyoming, Wyoming has some of the biggest game wildlife and is one of the really in the States they call it like the last... It's basically where wildlife outnumbers people, which is a fact. There's more wildlife in Wyoming than there is the actual population of people. So there's this need for the collective to have a newfound respect for survival of the fittest, for your root chakra, for power games and resources and I keep hearing conservation, but to me, I keep seeing, like, I want to say a puma. It's not a puma. It's a mountain lion. The way that lions, the way that cats in particular, the way in which they hunt, they tend to stalk and conserve their energy before they pounce, before they go in for the kill, before they do the attack. They tend to be creatures that conserve and then exude in a very strategic way. This is significant when it comes to many different aspects and the way in which we are consuming food, the way in which we are consuming screens, the way in which we are consuming information, the way in which we are consuming different energies around us and what that means for us, and how, like, I just see someone I see someone like literally going mad and screaming and trying to crawl out of this hole that is just so powerful because you've exuded so much energy instead of conserving certain types of energy. But there needs to be a new respect level for survival of the fittest, and there needs to stop being this complacency, this just like, oh well, you know, like it's not gonna work anymore. I've been wondering why I've been saying so much lately, like, the animals who adapt are the animals who survive. If you see what's happening around you and you see that you have to shift a certain type of, like, you have to shift your energy into a certain type of mode in order to survive, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Stop listening. If you're new here, by the way, welcome. My name is Sarah. I love you guys so very much. And I just need you to know that if I seem frustrated when it comes to certain energies, it's not you as the individual. It's just me as the teacher. Okay? So there needs to be an understanding that to protect yourself and that which is yours is not, it's not a bad thing. In fact, it is your right as an individual to protect yourself and that which is yours. It is your right It is your free will and your right to protect yourself and that which is yours. I need you to say it. It is my right to protect myself and that which is mine. Stop depending so much on the light. You are out of balance. If you think an angel is an angel without being a demon in the same energy, and that energy cannot transmute and transform into something that is of like just, I mean, I have the utmost respect for it. I have the utmost respect for it. That's what you need. You need to have respect for that aspect of yourself. Stop smothering it. Stop smothering it to where it can't even breathe. Like, you are created in darkness. You're not created in light. Seeds root in soil. Seeds take root and actually live and communicate in the darkness. When you smell when you smell a flower, you are literally sniffing the flower's ass, okay? And that is 100% a reality that people don't even think about. Like, the consciousness of a flower, the consciousness of plant life is in the soil. It's not in the light. Like, you're sniffing a flower's ass when you smell a flower. You're welcome for that image. Just imagine. All of us, imagine your life being flipped upside down and people just, strangers coming up and sniffing your ass whenever they feel like it. Oh, shit. It's real. It's really real. It's really real. Come on, y'all. Like, stop fearing the sword. Fear the individual that holds the sword, not the sword itself. Stop fearing truth. Fear the individual who illusions the truth in order to benefit from it. And don't fear it. Like, okay, correction of my words. Don't fear the illusion. Don't fear the illusion. We are far more powerful than that illusion could ever be. Okay, I keep on hearing new spread. Like, we really didn't talk about these cards, but they helped me more than you probably, okay? We're gonna tap into a different energy now. We're 28 minutes in. I could literally stop the video now and just post that if I wanted to. But we don't want to. Okay. We're gonna stick with the shamans. This is so incredibly important right now. It's so incredibly important right now. You have a right to protect that which is yours. Stop relying on other people to come in and do it for you. Especially if you're an American, okay? Like, there's literally no excuse if you're an American. If you live in America, you have the right to bear arms for a reason. We are seeing it play out in different states within our country. You have a right to bear arms for a reason, and you're waiting for outside resources to come in and take care of a problem that you have a right to take care of yourself. Stop it. Stop it. Where is your warrior energy? Where is your sense of protection of self and that which is yours? You're just going to allow people to come in and you're just going to hand it over? Are you fucking kidding me? If you can't rely on the systems that are in place to help you to protect that which is yours and your community and your neighborhood, that is what a militia is for, okay? Not that we need more war right now, but we do need people to stand up for their rights. 100%. Stop waiting around. This is what I talked to, I don't know how long ago it was that I talked about this energy of, I can't wait for God to handle it. You handle it. What are you waiting for? You think this big old man is going to come out of the fucking clouds and just all of a sudden like demolish all of the bad people that are here in this planet? Are you silly? Like, it's so silly to me. It's so silly to me. I don't understand that ideology. I don't understand it. Like, what do you fear more? The tool or the person holding the tool? Because the people holding the tools right now are fucking around. You have access to the tool, utilize the tool. When you utilize the tool and you choose to learn how to wield that tool, you will no longer fear it. This is how you know certain people don't do shadow work, man. This is how you know. Fear a fucking tool. Fear a sword? Are you kidding me? I don't fear a sword. I wield the sword. I don't fear a gun. I wield a gun. What do you mean? Fear stems from a lack of awareness and a lack of what's that word? Lack of practice, I heard. It's a lack of practice. It's the same thing as respecting your machine as a body. Or what? Dyslexia is a thing for me sometimes, I guess. Like not utilizing or respecting that your body is actually a machine. And allowing that machine to thrive at optimal performance. Like, how do you get what you have currently? How do you transmute it so that it can thrive at optimal performance? This is something I'm working on currently. I'm getting back into it. I took some time to transmute on a cellular. Stop fucking playing. Look. Groupthink. Stop paying attention. Yo, disconnect, collective, from what all of the things around you are telling you is right or wrong, and start clearing out the clutter and see what roots within you. God, just the fuckery, man. The fuckery. We're going to read this one out of the book because I can't make it up how the sword just came out like that. And I love it how seven is a number of purification. Three is the number of soul, mind, body, the Holy Trinity. Like sometimes I just heard sometimes you have to start from the ground up. It's not always and forever going to be grounding from the top down. Sometimes you have to ground first. Start from the ground up. Right? Transmuting and transforming your physical entity, the physical body machine, respecting the machine for what it is. and allowing that transmutation to come into the mind, into the brain, and to heal the brain, to heal that fear aspect that can plague the mind virus, that was so it is. To heal the mind virus, and then to have that transmute up into the soul. Because we as individuals, we don't talk about this or hear about this enough, about how on the physical plane, how healing it can actually be and is for the soul as well. It's not just the soul doing all of the work in the ethers and us grounding in that work. It's also us physically doing the work in this dimension so that we can actually transmute that energy and expand the consciousness of our higher selves and of the Most High, right? But we have to take the action for it. If the purpose of the Most High is evolution, the only way that evolution can occur is through individual action towards that higher self, towards whatever it is that you are being guided to, and standing 10 toes in the ground on what it is that you know, knowing what you know, and being able to decipher what the illusion is, what the clutter is. It's preparation season. It's harvest as well. Like, harvesting season is preparation season. Like, it equals each other out. It balances each other out. Because a lot of times, if you know anything about gardening, if you've had a garden yourself, you know that a lot of times you cannot consume all of the things depending on how much you grow. And especially if you're just keeping it for self and family, what it is that you receive in harvest season, a lot of times you cannot consume in the pace in which you're receiving. So as you receive, you're also preparing, right? So the most common thing for people to know is if you have tomato plants, the amount of tomato plants that you harvest at one time, for most people, for a lot of people, depending on how much you're growing, cannot be consumed quick enough before that harvest goes to waste. So you have to teach yourself how to prepare and how to prep for the future, and you have to blanch the tomatoes. You have to learn this process of blanching tomatoes, canning tomatoes, and saving them for the season. It's all preparation, right? I don't know why that's significant. Let's go ahead and get this out of the book. I'm so excited that card came out. I'm so incredibly humbled and thankful. I'm starting to sweat because it's getting hot in here, okay? I have to turn the air on. Magician's sword, which is funny because we were talking about transmutation. Like, the thing about magician energy too, the magician doesn't use one tool. The magician doesn't use one aspect of life. The magician uses all of the tools and balances out so that it can create the reality in which it is trying to create with and through the Most High. It's not one aspect, it's all aspects. We have to have confidence, we have to have respect, we have to have a love for all aspects of self, no matter what frequency it's in. And help those frequencies to expand, right? In the old days, I'm going on a tangent, but in the old days, like before the Abrahamic religions, swept through the world and society as a whole, there was a deep understanding that these gods that different cultures worshipped and gave respect to, I just heard gave tidings and offerings to. There was an understanding that that individual being has a higher self and can transmute into a lower frequency as well, right? An angelic and a demonic individual energy within one being. That was an awareness across all cultures at that time. And then the Abrahamic religions came in and said no, and basically disrespected and transmuted energies that were already there into something that it's like disassociating. They disassociated from the darkness for a reason. And it doesn't make any sense. It literally makes no sense. I just saw myself like what happens to the self when a very stressful and survival of the fittest moment comes into play. How a part of, I hear PTSD, how a part of PTSD is that disassociation from self. A lot of people who have experienced sexual assault or anything that is physically harming to the body will do that. They will disassociate with their body in order to cope with what the situation is that's happening currently. For some reason, that is the example that's being given when we're talking about this disassociated energy when it comes to the darkness, when it comes to I heard demonic forces. Okay. We're clearly going to do a whole reading on this. We're going to do we're going to give it its space, and we're going to do a whole reading on it, okay, collective? Let's go ahead and read this, and then we're going to wrap up, all right? So confidence in your magic, nothing can stop you, the beauty you seek. When the magician's sword appears, you are called to cut the cords that bind you to old thoughts, forms, and beliefs, or to friends who are not true. With the power of the magician's sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty you seek or the goal you desire with all your heart. The sword is a tool, not a weapon. So make sure you wield it wisely and for the greater good. Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic person, a particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. I have to read that again because this is literally talking about shadow work. It's also talking about understanding your internal demons, okay? Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic, is fear, right? To a toxic person, a particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available to you when you believe in miracles, but don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Don't look to the sky and wait for this fucking Zeus-like figure to come from the clouds, right? Look within. I gotta read it again. But don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Look within. Use the magician's sword to cut through limiting beliefs, and remember that all beliefs are limiting, and focus your intention in order to create what you wish. You have all the tools you need for the task at hand. You need only muster the wherewithal to deploy the resources you have. When the magician's sword appears, it is time to get moving. This is not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edge. It is an instrument calling for decisive action. And remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate and act. So that last sentence, and remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. To me, what I saw was the word truth pop up in my head. The sword is the truth. The sword holds the truth to where it is that you need to go, to the actions in which you need to take as the individual, to the new consciousness. And to me, this has to go with what we were talking about with respecting your own power, and the power that you might not have been able to that you weren't aware of at the time in these situations where survival of the fittest was, you know, had to come through. But to be able to be in a reflective state and to be able to recognize that now and balancing out your knowing with your faith, right? Your knowing with your faith. You as the individual in balance and in alignment with the Most High Collective. Symbols are very important to some of you right now as well. So I would pay attention to any sort of symbols, any sort of runes. I just heard we can pull a rune but not read it. So we're going to pull a rune, but we're not going to read it. I'm just going to show it to you. And remember what I said in the last reading when it comes to runes, and if you choose to utilize them, just remember that they are very powerful and they are very old, and there needs to be like a respect level that's put into place when utilizing these sorts of tools, these symbols, okay? I just heard it's not for the weak. Like, this is not for the weak. Okay, so let's go ahead and just pull a rune. Again, we're going to pull a rune and we're not going to read it. I'm just going to show it to you all. And then we're going to end the reading here. If you guys like the video, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up so that people within the collective can receive the message if they are meant to receive it. I love you guys so much. Old subscribers, I love you. New subscribers, I love you. And I thank you all. I am open for individual... readings if you need a little help, a little assistance at this time. I would be honored to do that with you. This is Jira. We're not going to read it. But this goes directly in alignment with that harvest energy that we were talking about. Okay? If you want to look up this energy yourself, I would highly encourage you to do so and really figure out how it's going to resonate with you. There needs to be individual action that occurs, okay? So if this is resonating with you and you want to know more about this runic symbol, there needs to be action on your end for your own awareness. Instead of just hearing me give the knowledge, there needs to be an acquirement of knowledge yourself. That's a form, like when people do their own research and really dive deep, the amount of confidence that you get from the knowledge in which you acquire is so much more rooted than what you just hear people speak to you, which goes in with the mindful. And it's funny because right use of power is underneath. Okay, collective, I love you guys so much. I thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you next time.